Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live. I am here with you live tonight to tell you about the crazy new news we have got for the Reform Party. It's been a pretty amazing couple of weeks for them because now we have got a huge new defection. Suella Braverman's husband. We had the Andrea Jenkins defection, where she was the 100,000th member of the party. We then had Tim Montgomery, a founder of Conservative Home, decide to walk across to the Reform Party as well. And now we've got Suella Braverman's husband. And a lot of people are predicting that this is just the precursor to a Suella Braverman defection, something that she has ruled out for many months. She's been on Camilla Tominey's show, for example, saying, nope, I'm loyal to the Conservative Party, I was born a Conservative, I'm never going to change. But now that the Reform Party is starting to look like it genuinely could be the official opposition to Labour at the next general election, people who you never would have thought would defect, I think, are going to be a heck of a lot more open to defection. Before we get into it, this is live, so this is an opportunity for you to send your comments in for us to discuss together. Please send in any questions you have for me, any thoughts on the topic, whether you welcome Suella Braverman to the party. We had some mixed responses on that last time we did a live about reform, because some of you think that it would taint the Reform Party to have people from the Conservative Party, especially people who were in cabinet when there was a heck of a lot of mass migration going on. Well, there still is a heck of a lot of mass migration going on. A lot of people think that that would tarnish the image of the Reform Party. So do you think that she will strengthen the party or weaken the party? Let me know in the comments and we will get to those after we run through the story. So anyway, let's get cracking. So what has happened, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we had her husband tweeted saying, I've left the Conservative Party because it has become a shadow of what it once stood for. Its incompetence and failure to deliver have betrayed the trust of the British people. He then went on to say, I deeply regret that it has come to this, as there are still a handful of decent MPs trying to do the right thing. I believe in politics driven by conviction and a genuine commitment to serving our nation, not by empty promises and mismanagement. And he hasn't been slow to get out and get involved with the party, because already he is out campaigning straight away. So he's not just become a member, but he is a pretty active supporter, already out on the doorsteps campaigning. Nigel Farage has tweeted saying, Rael Braverman, is that how you say his name, Rael? Rael Braverman is out campaigning for reform in Hertfordshire today. He has received a great reception after joining the fastest growing movement in British politics. And I really feel like them talking about the Reform Party as the fastest growing movement in British politics, they're really, creating this sort of aura of huge momentum around the party. Like, this is a train that is not stopping. You're either going to get on or you're going to miss out. And I think that these things snowball. I think that it's no coincidence that you have had so many defections, so many big pieces of news about the Reform Party in such a short space of time. Just over the past week and a half, I believe it was on Thursday night or Friday morning last week, that we found out that we had the 100,000th member of the party. And that was Andrea Jenkins. We saw that huge defection there. We then, very shortly after that, had these rumours that Elon Musk is thinking about a huge potential $100 million donation to the party. Whether or not it was true, we don't know. Whether or not it's even legal, we don't know. But it definitely made them seem like these guys are serious. They have the right people behind them to propel them to number 10. We then had this polling come out suggesting that Nigel Farage has a 27% likelihood of becoming the next Prime Minister, which is pretty high considering Kemi Badenoch's odds are 33%. Very, getting nearer and nearer to the Conservative Party's hopes of being in office next time as well. And then we had this absolutely fantastic poll. What was it? Yesterday or the day before come out saying that the Reform Party are actually now ahead of the Labour Party in the polls. Conservatives on 26%, Reform on 24%, and Labour on 23%. They've overtaken the party that's in power. You know, this was a party that was absolutely tiny not that long ago, and in this short space of time, they are overtaking the Labour Party. And, you know, 24% versus 26% for the Conservatives. I don't think it will be long before they overtake. And Suella Braverman's husband has now defected, and I expect he's many of the people who thought, you know, this is a tiny party, a vote for Reform is just a vote for Labour. Yeah, you can vote for them as a sort of FU to the uni-party system, to the two main parties, but there's no way that these folks are ever going to be in power. They're not serious, right? But now, with all those things that I've just told you about that's happened in the last week, it's starting to look like Reform could be the official opposition, and you might want to be with them instead of the Conservative Party if you want a chance of getting a seat at the next election, a chance of being in power at the next general election. And I know Suella Braverman and her husband, they're not the same person, but I'm sure that they will be having conversations around the dinner table, him explaining why he's jumped ship to the Reform Party, and I would not be surprised if you see Suella Braverman go that way as well. I think she wanted to sit back and see how the Reform Party is going to do after the general election, and I think it's pretty clear at this point that Reform is the party that has got the momentum. I know we haven't had Kemi Badenoch for a long time, and she may want to sit back a little bit longer, see how Kemi Badenoch does, but I think you could see a pretty huge defection. I personally think it would be good for the party, because although she was in office during that period of horrendous mass migration, she was fighting tooth and nail to change the system and had Rishi Sunak stopping her. You saw that resignation letter where she actually detailed at huge length exactly what she was pushing the Prime Minister to do and to change about their immigration policy, and that she was being blocked at every step. Obviously, also being part of the ECHR did not exactly help, and some people will say that maybe she was lying about the fact that she was trying her best and all the odds were against her. But I genuinely think this is a woman who is very, very passionate about stopping mass migration. But she found in the Conservative Party the forces were against it. And I don't see what future she sees for herself in the Conservative Party if her colleagues are always going to be against her. She was going to run in the leadership election, from which Kemi Badenoch has now appeared victorious, right? But then she had to pull out. Why? Because the other people in the party would not support her. She couldn't get enough support from the other MPs in her party. They, as Suella said, they did not want to hear the honest diagnosis from Suella about why the Conservative Party lost the election. Suella knows exactly why the Conservative Party lost the election. The Conservatives didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to admit how massively they had failed, especially on mass migration. And so her colleagues said they didn't want her. If they didn't want her in this election, this leadership election, are they genuinely going to want her in a future leadership election? You know, she's had top cabinet position. Where is she going to go next? Okay, she could retire comfortably and slowly edge her way out of politics now and just say, you know what, that's it. Not interested. Tried my best to stop mass migration, but it's not going to happen. But if she wants more in politics, there's no future for her in the Conservative Party. It's just going to be an uphill battle trying to get her colleagues to agree with her, who are just not as committed to solving the problem as mass migration and the other problems of the country as she is. But let me know in the comments whether you guys think that this would be a good idea or not. Now, I've just got all your hopes up about Suella Braverman joining the party, but she has responded. And she is sticking by her guns for this. She says she has shut down, this is from the GB News article, she has shut down the rumours despite there being a heck of a lot of speculation, and this is what she had to say. She said, "My husband and I have a healthy respect for each other's independence. He doesn't tell me how to do my job, and I don't tell him how to pick a political party." And it's perfectly normal for husband and wives to vote for different parties and not have exactly the same political views. But to suggest that he is not going to influence her at all, especially if he actually, it looks like now he's not just someone who's become a Reform member, but he's a campaigner for the party. Maybe he'll run for something as well. One of the reasons he's defected, by the way, is because he is a big supporter of farmers, and he's absolutely furious about what's happened with Rachel Reeves's tax raid on farmers. There are going to be conversations around the dinner table. He will be making arguments to her as to why he has jumped ship. And I feel like, as I said, she might want to sit back, possibly for another year, possibly for multiple years, because this election is not until 2029, as long as there isn't one called early. And I don't know why Keir Starmer would do that when he's got such a big majority. It's not like he's going to make it any bigger, right? She might take her time. But I predict that before the next general election, Suella Braverman will jump ship. And I think that it will help the party rather than work against them. But anyway, let's see what you folks think first and foremost. Because you guys, this channel is for you. We care about what you think. So please keep your comments coming in. Let's have a look at what we have got. So Chris says, only a fool would follow the Tory party. The only true Conservative party is Reform. Well, exactly. I mean, this is the thing. The Conservative Party is no longer a Conservative party. And that is why so many Conservatives stopped voting for them and have switched to Reform. Okay, they're basically the Conservative Party the way it should be. The actual Conservative Party, I mean, they're basically, they're the same as Labour. I mean, highest taxes since the Second World War, mass migration. I mean, where do I start? Let's have a look at what Steve has to say about Suella. He says, come on, bring Suella into Reform. She actually wants to leave the ECHR. Reform needs her. Keep up the great work, Chloe. I love you guys on Reasons Work, and always catch your podcast around family and work. Oh, that's really sweet comment. Thank you, Steve, for your support. Every time you guys watch our channel, that helps us to grow and keep doing what we're doing. So we really appreciate all you regular viewers. If you want to help us, make sure that you, of course, hit the like button, share our videos around. If you want to leave us super chats, please leave those as well, because they always help us. If you leave super chats, I guarantee I will read them out. Also, we are going to be doing a big fundraiser soon, and we need people on board, fundraisers, to join our fundraising team to help us. There is a link at the top of the description of the video below. Please take a look at that as well. Anyway, let's get back to Suella Braverman and what you guys are thinking. Alan, I'm afraid Alan's going to disagree with you, Steve, because he says Reform doesn't want any liberal thinking Tories. There are plenty of liberal thinking Tories, there are plenty of wet Tories, but I'd say, Alan, do you really think that Suella Braverman is a wet Tory? I don't think so. I do not think so. I think you've got that wrong there. What's Peter got to say? Genuine Tories have no real alternative to Reform. The Tories are no longer the Conservatives. There's barely a fag paper between the Tories and Labour. Very well said, Peter. Let's see what else we've got in the comments here. Erica's happy about this. Well, I say about this as if it's already happened, but about the potential defection of Suella. I think that's fantastic. I always like Suella. She is a strong woman. That's great news. Yes, I mean, she's a woman. I think that would help. And there was a good interview. I haven't got the video here to show you guys. I hadn't thought of bringing that up, but I should have done. Of Zia, the chairman of the Reform, speaking to Camilla Tominey for her Telegraph podcast, and she was asking, do you have a woman problem? Do you have a diversity problem? And I think Zia gave an absolutely fantastic response to that, where he just said, we do not care about diversity. We pick people based on merit. And I think that that's absolutely fantastic that he is sticking to his guns as that. And as a man of colour, it's easier for him to make that comment for sure. But I do think that people should be picked on merit. Suella Braverman should be put in, if she's brought into the party, it should be because she's genuinely the right fit for the party. But let's just say, I don't think it hurts to have a few women. It's female. I'm a female voter. I'm gonna relate to a female talking to me and talking about the policies of the party. So I don't think it would be a bad thing to have at least one woman sort of high up in the party. Let's see what else we've got. Can't keep up with all your comments. There's so many of them. Darius said would be an amazing MP, Chloe. I don't know if you were talking about me or Suella being a Reform MP, but I hate to break it to you guys, but I won't be becoming an MP anytime soon because I don't really fancy fixing potholes and public toilets anytime soon. I quite like talking about national politics and the big, exciting stories. But, never say never. Maybe one day before I die, I will consider it. Let's see. Oh, we've got one person says just subscribe. Yep, absolutely. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Richie says we love Chloe. Oh, you guys are very sweet tonight. I appreciate it. It clearly must be my Santa hat getting you all in the giving Christmas spirit. I've been told I've got an unhealthy obsession with Santa hats. So in response, I am putting on all the Santa hats that I can find. I've changed it up this time. We've gone from the glitzy one to the reindeer one. Let's see if we've got anyone else. Nora says move soon, Suella, or you'll lose our loyalty. That's true. If Suella Braverman waits a long time, although it might allow her to make her calculations and see more clearly where the party is going, some people might say too little, too late. You've waited until the last second where you see like you're gonna lose your seat, and for selfish reasons you've moved across. It might look more genuine if she does it earlier. So that's a very good point. Let's see. Oh, we got another comment from Richie. He says, I absolutely love Suella. She did try to sort out this mass migration, but Rishi and the rest of the cabinet war against her. She was a lone voice in the cabinet. Suella watches this. Please, Suella. Okay, so it seems to me from the comments that you guys are overall in favour of Suella Braverman. Oh, and apparently you guys want Jacob Rees-Mogg as well. So last but not least, interesting YouTube name, says JRM should also jump ship and stand for Reform UK in the next general election. I haven't watched yet the new Jacob Rees-Mogg Life of the Moggs or whatever it's called documentary that has just come out on Discovery Plus, but I'm keen to watch that. I mean, what do the rest of you guys think? Do you think that Jacob Rees-Mogg would be a good addition to the party, or I don't think he's quite as hard line on as Suella. I don't hear him saying as fiery things about immigration. I don't know. Maybe he would be a good addition, but I think they need to be careful not to make the whole Reform Party just full of Tory converts and it just becomes the new Tory party. They need to vet them. Obviously, that was an issue at this election. They did not vet their candidates. They need to be vetting people that want to move across from the Tory party. Make sure no wetters infiltrate the party. Spartan says Suella will get a better chance of using her skills and experience with Reform. Exactly. This is a woman who she had a plan. She was actually talking with Chris Hope on GB News the other day about how actually he was asking her the question of, is it, say, a load of woke Home Office staff that was stopping you from doing what you wanted to do? And she actually said that wasn't the case. It wasn't a load of woke civil servants blocking her. She said that her and the Home Office staff had drawn up a very clear plan for their, say, sort of points-based immigration system that would massively bring the numbers down, and it was all planned out and it was all ready to rock and roll. But then Rishi Sunak and the rest of the cabinet, they didn't want anything to do with it. They didn't allow her and the Home Office staff to do what they had planned to do. So I thought that was interesting. Taylor's in favour of Suella joining the party. Suella Braverman is a patriot and would be very welcome in Reform. Justin, oh please Suella, that would be something I've hoped for a long time. Gumbo, I think she's great. I hope that she joins. Well, there we have it. Looks like the vast majority of you lot in the comments, reasoned viewers, want Suella to join the party. So let's hope that Suella Braverman sees this video and recognises that she is welcome, and we would be very happy to have her in the Reform Party. Obviously, there are a few of you that are a little bit more concerned about her, but it seems like overall people are in favour of this. So just to recap for anyone who is joining late before we finish this stream, we have had Suella Braverman's husband defect to the Reform Party. He has decided that he has absolutely had enough of the empty promises from the Conservative Party, and he will have seen his own wife struggling while she was in cabinet, desperately trying to get them to take affirmative action on mass migration, but facing a pretty uphill battle with all the odds faced against her. He's had enough of it, and already he is out campaigning. Nigel has tweeted saying he's out campaigning for reform in Hertfordshire today. So this, of course, raises the question of, is Suella Braverman about to jump ship to the Reform Party? Now, she's been quick to shut down the rumours and said, my husband and I have a healthy respect for each other's independence. He doesn't tell me how to do my job. I don't tell him how to pick a political party. But I think that she's keeping her cards close to her chest here, and that she is sitting back and she's going to watch for a little while. She's going to see what happens with Kemi Badenoch, but she is realising that this is the party that could be the official opposition to the Labour Party at the next general election. Reform are very quickly closing in on the Tories, and if Suella Braverman wants to make any change in politics, she's going to need to be with a party that supports her. The Conservative Party battled against her when she tried to create change in that party, and it's starting to look like they are a serious party now. It's not the case that a vote for reform is a vote for Labour, and she might find herself in a situation where even if she wants to keep her seat in Parliament, she is in a better position by jumping to Reform. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining the stream today. Thank you so much for all of your lovely comments. It's been great engaging with you guys, and I will see you all very, very soon. Adios.
Still watching? Well, I've got a quick ask for you. Recent UK, we're fighting the woke brigade and inspiring young Brits, but we need your help to go bigger. We're hosting a fundraiser and would love you to sign up and share the link on the big day. It's easy, it makes a massive impact, and there are prizes for top fundraisers. Click the Google form in the description to join us. Cheers very much. Let's keep going together.